Hello everyone, so we're back talking about this and it's important to talk about it because we see the Irish government are hellbound to do it, but they might not get away with it. What I mean by that is they're talking about enacting a system like Australia at the moment that restricts people under 16 from using social media, from using YouTube, etc. Without over here it's a bit different. They want you to use your government ID, so basically the state will tell you when you can go online. And it's very sus. It's something you'd see in communist China with the social credit score, because that's what they were suggesting a few weeks ago, that it would be linked to my government account, basically your ID, your government state ID. And of course, straight away, we all know what this is about, because let's be fair, it's literally only a few months. It's barely even probably 2 months in Australia. We don't even know, does it work? What's the results? Is it positive for young people? Is it negative? What's the story? We don't know yet. There's probably 100 million ways around it, but every government seems like all of a sudden they want to jump on it. So what's happened at the moment, it could be challenged in court, of course, if they want to plough ahead with the government. It probably will be challenged in court because there's no basis behind it. There's no evidence to suggest, yeah, 100% this is going to benefit every young person or etc. Because let's be fair, the Irish state always wants more. And why I'm so pessimistic and so, I suppose, worried about this is because the Irish state is not your friend. The Irish state, when they say they care about you, they don't. Like, take for example, they say they care. Simon Howard says they care about young people, etc. They want to protect young people. We see every day of the week paedophiles being let off of the court. That Judge Nolan up in the High Court is letting every paedophile off with fully suspended sentences back out to the street to prey on young people, to prey on young children. And we don't see the Irish government doing anything about that. And take, for example, we see a lot of cases involving children too being abused by the state, by the TUSLA, take for example. There's nothing ever done about that. There's children go missing in the state's care, and the state doesn't want to know about it, and they want to care about people online. And young people what they do online, where they don't care about what actually stuff that's happening to them in real life, and simple as that. Um, Neither do we not have to go into all the details about TUSLA, etc. But you can just look it up yourself. So they don't give a damn. Let's be fair, they couldn't give a damn about young people. They couldn't care less. Because what they're doing in this country alone too, they're giving young people no futures in terms of living in this country, renting an apartment, etc. And they turn around and say that they care, they don't. This is a sinister agenda. And we see this across the West. It's all of words. It's a bit different if Australia decided to do it 1 year, and then the Netherlands say next week, or next year, say for example, than the Irish government in 4 or 5 years' time. But it's funny that even take for example Finland, the UK, Ireland, a lot of other European countries all of a sudden are like, yes, yeah, we have to protect children on the internet. It's funny. It's agenda pretty much. It is an agenda. It's about agenda 2030 to be generally honest with you, about shutting people up, and especially in Ireland they want to shut people up as much as they can. They couldn't get the hate speech bill passed, so they're trying to do it this way. That's pretty much what's happened, because I don't trust them. Because they say anything that's good. They say anything that's good for society, ain't that the government, ain't that anytime you say, oh yeah, we're doing this for the children, or we're doing this for society, the benefit of society. You have to be very questionable, because the government has never been good for society. Or never has been good to the Irish citizens, let's put it that way. So there's obviously something behind it, because let's be fair, the Irish government never do anything good apart from themselves. So, I'm very pessimistic. We have to question what they're up to, because they are up to stuff. And as I say too, as it was said to the government too, that it could be challenged in court and overruled, because there's no evidence to suggest that, say for example, in Australia, it'd be different if we were talking about 20 years down the line. We can look at Australia and be like, yeah, they actually done some benefit, but we're literally jumping on the bandwagon before the bandwagon even gets going. So you get what I'm saying. There's no evidence behind it, so we have to see what happens. But I generally take my personal opinion. I do think it's a scheme from the Irish government to shut people up, because they couldn't do it with the hate speech bill. They want to do it now. Because let's be fair, Simon Howes, Micheál Martin is not your friend. They're not the friend of anybody in this country. They're the friends of themselves. That's all they're friends with. Because they don't care. Simple as that. It'd be different if they say we want to really protect children. We're going to hammer paedophiles into prison. We're going to lock them up for 50 years if they commit a crime against a child. Or we're going to put them in for the rest of their lives. Or anybody that does anything against a child, we're going to put them in prison for the rest of their lives, so deal with them very harshly. But it's different, because they're not doing that. It's that every day of the week there's children being abused in this country and there's nothing been done about it. They'll go up to the courts, the judges let them off with it. And even the judges themselves probably should be looked at. We should be bringing in a law to look at the judges to see what they're doing, because let's be fair, they're literally covering up for these people. And tip was up, even the Epstein files, the Irish government hasn't done anything. There's obviously Irish people named in the Epstein files, high politicians, etc. The government doesn't care. You think the government would be hunting these people down and getting everything out of them, and putting them in prison if necessary, and do more to them, do something, because at the moment of time they're just sitting there with their hands in the air and doing nothing. Because we know Jeffrey Epstein mentioned Ireland 1,600 times in the Epstein files. And you think if they really wanted to protect children, because there was children abused and trafficked through Ireland for high-ranking politicians here, as was suggesting the Epstein files, and the government don't want to know, and they say about protecting children, you know. And it still happened. Ireland has a track record of human trafficking too, and they won't do anything about that either. They sit in their hands and do nothing. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it for 5 seconds, to be genuinely honest, that this is to protect children. And it's all well and good. I am all for protecting children, etc. But at the end of the day, the government is not your daddy. The government is not your daddy. The government is not. The government is there to run the state. What I mean by that is, the economy, in my opinion. They're not there to tell your children what to do, and they're not there to tell me what to do or what not to do. It's the individual, and it's up to the parents. Particularly when you after 18, they can do whatever they want. But when you're under 18, it's up to your parents. And I know people say your parents have enough to be doing, and they haven't got time to be checking social media, etc. But it's their job. It really is their job. It's not the government's job. The government should never have a say in anybody's private life, unless it's somebody's being abused, etc. Something like that. But the government has no right to intervene in somebody's personal life and tell them what to do. Simple as that. That's not the government. That's what they do in communist China. That's what they do in North Korea. They're not going to do it here. Simple as that. We're not going to let them do it. Simple as that. So fair to say, we're going to fight it all the way. We should fight it all the way, because this is all about censorship. This is really all of this, and we see with the hate speech bill. That's why it never got passed, because it could have been abused to high hell. And let's be fair, when this law, if it did bring in the morning, there would be loopholes straight away to the government could use this to their advantage to shut people up. People that don't agree, people like myself, who are always questioning them, who are always asking tough questions of them. Because let's be fair, the media are controlled left, right, and centre. The whole Irish establishment is controlled by the state. The Irish state, like we see RT being bailed out by the state. So why are they going to question the government or forging media when the government are giving them big, huge checks, hundreds of millions? They're not going to question the government. So it's up to individuals, Irish and the citizens, to question the government, because they're never for the Irish people. They're never for the goodness of the nation. They're for themselves. That's what all is about. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more. And what do you think? Do you agree with it? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? What's the story? Thank you.